Hello from AlphaCars and Ural of New England in Boxborough, Massachusetts. Today we're very excited to show you how to install a very welcome accessory on the Ural. This feature will allow for the motorcycle blinker lights to work as a hazard flasher lights. After we're done, in just a few minutes, there will be a switch right here that you'll be able to flip on and off, and the flashers will be turned on and off. The nice feature here, unlike a couple that we've seen from other vendors, with this particular setup, you can use the flasher with your ignition on or off, or even if you have by accident your turn signals turned on while operating the flasher, it will still work. It will give you a audible double click so you know your turn signals are on. So let's take a look. I will ask for the assistance. Our technician Alex. So Alex is right here. We're going to first take the headlamp off the bike, which is done very simple. There are 13 millimeter bolts on each side. Okay, so the lamp is off right now. Let's take a look. What Alex did, he removed 2 bolts. He pulled the lamp out. Keep it supported so it doesn't scratch the paint of your Ural, and then just unplug this connector. Now with the headlamp removed, we have a clear view of what's going on inside. On the inside of this area, you see the ignition lock, and you see the bottom of the speedometer, and these are some indicator lights, and you see the bottom part of the indicator lights right here. Okay, so the next thing, let me just show to our viewers, this is the actual kit. So this kit has a controller, it has a fuse holder, it has a heavy-duty switch, and all the harnesses are made here in Ural of New England, and it all meets and exceeds high expectations of all our customers. All the connectors are waterproof. We use top quality connectors, and of course they're heat shrinking tubed, and it's a very tight connections. So now we're going to install it. The idea behind this kit, when we designed it, actually Alex designed it, the idea was to have a product that can be installed with minimal to no electrical knowledge or electrical work being performed. No cutting or splicing will need to be done. There will be differences, minor differences, between the 2013 and 2014 models. So let's take a look. This is a 2013 model. We will have a separate video showing the difference on the 2014 models. So let's ask Alex to help us with this installation.
So first what we're going to do, we're going to locate turn signal light and disconnect the wires.
Let me just show that. So the turn signal light is a yellow light on the 2013 Ural. It's on the top right-hand corner when you're looking from this way. So we're going to disconnect electrical terminal.
Both of them.
Both of them. The switch side has two red wires, and one has this fancy looking piggyback connector, and another one is just a sealed female connector, quick connector. Okay.
Okay, so now we're gonna connect bike piggyback connector to the sealed connector, and we're gonna connect our piggyback connector to the other connector.
Wow, that's very simple. Let me just point this out. So what we have here, black wire connector is connected to the red connector on the kit side. And then the pink or purple, I would say it's a purple dual wiring side, is connected to the red connector with the black insulator, as you can see right here.
So now we can connect it back to the light. Okay, here.
Okay, so now we have it reconnected back to the turn signal lamp. Okay, go ahead.
So as the next step, we're going to connect negative terminal.
Okay, so the negative terminal, which is coming off of the control box. So that one is going to get connected where?
To the piggyback connector below speedometer, ground point.
Okay, so let's see if we can see it with the camera. There is a ground terminal. There are several of them, and there's a free one that is available, and you can see it right here. So what Alex did, he simply slipped that onto the available male connector. So the female of the kit switch gets slipped onto the male part of the ground point, which is below the speedometer. Okay, next step.
So as the next step, what we're going to do, we're going to locate blue wire on ignition switch right
Okay.
here and disconnect it.
It looks like on the very top of the ignition switch, yeah, there is a blue wire. There it is. And what Alex did, he just slipped it off the ignition switch itself.
Again, the next step, what we're going to do, we're going to connect our wire from the fuse holder to that blue wire, just like that.
Okay, and what you see here, this is the fuse lead, and here's the power feed, and you will see a little connector right here. And the reason we're using this, it is a small connector that is going to be different for 2014 and newer motorcycles. So it is supplied on the on both kits, and then you will be using this side if you have 2013 and older bike.
So we're going to reconnect that wire to ignition lock, ignition switch, just like that.
Yep, it's pretty straightforward. That terminal just gets slipped on back onto the ignition switch. Yep.
So okay, we need to put all the wires over here. We're not going to install fuse yet because we need to drill the hole for the...
Yes, good point. So keep the fuse removed until you're ready to start using the system. Okay, as far as drilling for the switch location, you measure a center between these two lights and drill 5/30 seconds or 12 millimeter hole right here. This is for 2013 and older Urals. And then, of course, after you're done with drilling, you do a little touch-up. All Urals, most of them came with a touch-up kit, so pull out your touch-up kit and touch up the edges to prevent any rusting. Okay, now that we already made the hole for the switch, here's the switch, here's the hole, and now Alex is going to be placing the switch back there. And before you do, make sure you set up the alignment of this nut, because with this nut, you need to be somewhere in the middle of where these threads are. Okay, so now we can just get it in there.
So to get easy access to that hole, we need to disconnect that upper light, which is a battery light connectors, and move them aside.
Yep, Alex, what he did, he just disconnected the wires from this battery warning light. And when you do disconnect, always remember where the wire came from.
Okay.
So you can reinstall it to the same location.
Install the switch and secure it.
Yep, the switch just went in. And the nut that is provided is a waterproof nut. So the threaded part is on the inside right here. And on the other side, you have a waterproof switch cap. So it's a little tricky to place it on and catch the thread, but I'm sure you guys can figure it out. And once you do, you tighten this up by hand as tight as you can. Try to avoid using the wrench, because if you do use the wrench and you go a little too tight, you can puncture the seal around the nut, the rubber seal. So we have this tightened up. We're going to reconnect the battery light terminals. Okay, looks like we are ready to
install the fuse.
Yeah, to install the fuse. Yep, the fuse is in, the cap is on. 20 amp fuse that is used for the flasher.
Check if it's working.
Oh, look at that. We have a Ural with hazard lights and the flasher. And the switch that we used is a heavy-duty UL listed switch. Going to install the headlamp. Don't forget to connect the connector. Okay. And this particular headlamp is a little different than a stock lamp. This is an H4 lighting system, which has a much better light placement on the road. It is still a 55 watt bulb. It's an H4 bulb, but because of the patented technology used by Hella, much more light is actually placed on the road rather than around the road. And we have great reviews by our customers who purchased the upgrade. It's very inexpensive and available on our e-store. Then after we're all done with that, we are going to readjust and aim the headlamp to make sure it's most efficient. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Nice job. Thank you for viewing this video from AlphaCars and Ural of New England.